Every year, Tom and Al took the cows to the pasture to graze. It took about 2 months and it was easy enough work, but it was also monotonous. Every day they did the same exact thing. Tend to the cows, tend to the garden, then sleep. Then Tom had an idea to spice things up. Let's make a scarecrow. It'll be fun and it'll help keep the birds away. Yeah, and we'll make it look like Harold, a bored Al happily agreed. Harold was a farmer both men loathed. Together, Tom and Al made the doll and stuffed it with sacks of straw. Then they gave it a long, pointy nose and tiny eyes like Harold. Each day while working in the pasture, they'd tie Harold to the pole in the garden. Then at night, they'd bring him in to keep him safe from the elements. They were so bored they began interacting with Harold, talking and joking with the inanimate scarecrow. Then one night, Tom took his stew, which both men were sick of, and smeared it on Harold's face. "How do you like that, Harold?" "Well, you better eat it." The two men howled with laughter until they heard Harold grunt. "Did you hear that?" asked Al. "It was Harold," said Tom. "Let's throw him in the fire. Let's not be too hasty. We've only got a few more weeks, then we move the cows back to the valley. When we do, we'll leave him here." The two men agreed. They didn't take the scarecrow outside anymore, and every now and then Harold would grunt, but that was it. The two decided that there was nothing to be scared of. It was most likely a mouse or some insects that had gotten into Harold. That was all. So they went back to their old ways, if not even worse. If they were in a good mood, they'd treat Harold kindly. If they were in a bad mood, they'd treat him poorly. One day, in a particularly salty mood, Tom began his stew smearing ritual. This time, Harold did not just grunt. He stood up and walked out. The two men, completely exasperated, followed. They saw Harold walking back and forth across the roof. Back inside, they could hear his steps like hooves above. They decided it was time to go. As they walked the cows back down toward the valley, the two men came to a horrible realization. They had forgotten their milk stools. Despite not wanting to go back, they knew the stools were too expensive to leave behind. The two men convinced themselves there was nothing to worry about. Harold was harmless. What could a scarecrow do anyway? But there was no reason for both men to go back, so they drew straws to see who would retrieve the stools. Tom drew the short straw and made his way back toward the pasture. Some time passed and Al began to worry. He finally reached a spot in the valley where he could look back and see the farm. On the roof, he saw Harold stretching out Tom's skin to dry out in the sun.